Firstly, let's give Kathy a round of applause because nobody does it better. Okay, she's got great events, brings great people to the table. What I'd like to say, and I'm going to walk around a little bit. Yes, I've been in the jewelry industry now for about 45 years. We had a family store for 40 years. But one of the things that we did is we cared about our clients, our customers. We always took care, we always went all the way to make sure that our clients were happy. So I am dealing with 3 generations of clients. In our store, we had 3 major burglaries. We lost $2 million out of pocket. When I walked away, I owed $791,000, which today I've paid all of my vendors back every dime. I could have filed Chapter 11 and I could have walked away. It would have been the easy thing to do. But one of the things that I pride myself about is being able to look in the mirror, be able to kiss my children, and feel that I've always done the right thing. Thank you. Thank you. About 3 years ago, I started working with a business coach, with Pete Cracovano. And we connected on a spiritual level, and we also connected on a business level where Pete really has been able to take me to a different place. The very first thing that we did, we took an online survey, and it was about leadership and success. And when you narrow it down into ethics, I scored 6.8 out of 10 in integrity. And I looked at Pete and I said, that's disgusting, that's failing. And Pete looked at me and he said, you know what? George Washington cut down the cherry tree. When his father came out and said, who did it? George said, I cannot tell a lie. I cut down the tree. My question to you is, did George have integrity? Anybody want to answer? Why did he cut down the tree? On the other hand, was this a living tree or a dead tree? Was it his father's tree or a neighbor's tree? And that's something that we don't know about. So when we're looking at integrity, we're talking about it's a perception. You and I may have a different perception of what integrity is. But I'm going to ask, who wants to answer the question, what is integrity?
Doing in private when nobody's looking what you would do.
I love it.
People are looking.
I love it. It's doing the right thing when nobody's looking. Okay? So again, integrity is about doing the right thing when nobody's looking. I want to read a quote to you by Sir Francis Bacon. It is not what we eat, but what we digest that makes us strong. Not what we gain, but what we save that makes us rich. Not what we read, but what we remember that makes us learned. And not what we profess, but what we practice that gives us integrity. Okay, today the world has changed drastically. Technology has taken over. Everything is happening very quick. We have cell phones, we have the internet at our fingertips at any moment. If we want to shop, we don't have to stop and think about it. We can do everything instantaneous. All right? One of the problems is we've lost touch with reality. We have lost touch with talking to people face to face. And we have lost touch with what really counts, what really matters. And what really matters is what we profess and what we do with our lives and how we touch the lives of others. Now, one of the things that happened after Pete and I did the survey is I was walking on 47th Street the very next day. And that's the Diamond District for those of you that don't know. But in the middle of the street, there was a big nail. And what I did is I said, you know, a car could run over this nail. So I kicked the nail to the curb. And as I did that, I walked the other way. And I started to think to myself, the difference between 6.8 and 10 is not kicking the nail to the curb, but it's picking the nail up and putting it in the garbage. I didn't do that. About an hour later, after being in 3 or 4 offices, I felt something under the heel of my shoe. And I figured, you know, in the jewelry business, maybe I stepped on a jewelry finding or a piece of gum or something. And I looked at the heel of my shoe, and just the head of this nail was sticking out. Now, number one, how much pressure does it take to drive a nail through the heel of your shoe? 3 inches. And number two, for an hour, I didn't feel the head of the snail. Okay, why? Okay, it was just something that was given to me. I pulled the nail out, I put it in my bag, I took it back to my office, and it sat in a jewelry box for about a year until one day I trademarked the nail of integrity. Now, I started thinking about, wow, the nail of integrity, this is great. What can I do with the nail of integrity? So I started creating applications about driving with integrity, okay, about teaching with integrity, about financial planning with integrity. And I started creating products relating to integrity. And I said, you know what, I watch Joel Osteen every Sunday morning. What if I could reach out to Joel Osteen and Joel Osteen got up and said, you know what, buy the nail of integrity. You need integrity in your life. And 500,000 people bought my product online. I'm going to make a lot of money, right? That's a great thing. But then I started writing about the products because you have to have a blurb with your product. And as I'm writing about my product, I'm saying to myself, there's something more important here. And I had 8 pages written about a single product and 8 pages of outline. And I said, wait a minute, there's more to it because I have so much more I want to say. So I continued writing till today I have 160 pages, and I'm thinking about when and how I want to publish a book. But I also have a lot of product. And then I realized to myself, you know what? This is not about making money. This is about what if we could take that 6.8 and take everybody and move them up to 7.0 or 7.2. We can now change the world. Because you know what? How many people do you know pull up in front of a Dunkin' Donuts when there's a parking spot 10 feet away, but they have to park in a no parking zone because it's closer, because they're in a hurry? Okay, we have to change that. How many people take a paper towel, they wash their hands in a washroom and throw it next to the garbage pail, not in the garbage pail? These are simple little things that can change the world. How about the financial planner that now is not out just to make a commission, but they're out to help their clients achieve a different goal? Okay, that's what we need to do. So if each one of us reaches out and we reach out to do something a little better, we can change the world. What about the message that we send to our children? We have Lance Armstrong, okay? He was the greatest cyclist ever. He did performance drugs. He has built a repertoire of fans, millions and millions of people, raised millions and millions of dollars, okay? He did enhancement drugs. We have somebody like A-Rod, a Yankee hero. Our kids honored and would die for A-Rod. But you know what? A-Rod now, he came out, he did enhancement drugs. Are we sending our kids a message that in order to be great and in order to be successful, you have to do enhancement drugs? Okay? The answer is no, that's not what we want to do. So therefore, if we get up in front of our children and we get up there and we do the right thing. I was talking pretty much about let's take integrity, how do we improve our business, okay? Working with integrity. Every client that you meet and every client that you see, okay, are you speaking to them, looking in their eyes and doing the right thing because that's the right thing to do? Or you're trying to make a sale just because that's what you need to do. Because the way I run my business, I'll spend as much time as necessary to make sure I educate you properly so that you make a decision. I'm not out to sell a single thing to you. Okay, would I like to sell? Sure, it helps the bottom line, but that's not who I am. So again, we're talking about taking your business and moving it to a different level. We're talking about how you deal with your clients, how you deal with your vendors, how do you deal with your subordinates, how do you deal with your supervisors? Do you look them in the eye? Do you tell the truth? Okay? Can you feel that in your workplace you're doing the right thing? How many people go out for cigarette breaks? Okay, and I don't mean to profess, but the average person takes 4 to 5 hours a week on cigarette breaks. What about the other employees that are in those offices? Okay, number one, there's a lot of dissension. Number two, you come back smelling from cigarette smoke. Okay, and you know what? It affects the health of the other people. Where is your integrity? So I could go on and on and on and tell you about all my different applications, but that's not what I mean to do. But my goal here today is really to say to you, you know what? In your business, make an impact. With your children, make an impact. In the communities you live in, make an impact. Stop to think. When you stop at a stop sign, do you stop and go through it? Do you roll through it? Or do you stop and say S-T-O-P and make that stop? Because you know what? When you turn around and look the other way and that motorcycle's coming because you didn't stop properly, or there's a child crossing a road because you didn't stop properly, okay? Let's just look and just make everything we do a little bit better, because then you're going to improve the life around you, the people around you, and you're going to change the world. Because if you do it and you tell people about it and you make sure you tell people about it, they're going to do the same thing. And every little life that we touch and every person that we touch is going to make a difference. So I just want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope that I made an impact and got you to think a little. And thank you very much. And thank you, Kathy.
That was great.